Hello and welcome to this category of videos. My name is Barry Beckham. Whenever we introduce commentary or even sound effects into a slideshow, if that slideshow also includes music, it's almost certain that the two will clash. We cannot hear the spoken word or the sound effects and the music at the same time. There's going to be a need to take down the volume of the music in strategic locations so the voice or the sound effect can be heard. Now, it wasn't too long ago that if we wanted to carry out that type of audio editing for a slideshow, we would need an external audio editor, and I believe the one that most enthusiasts chose was Audacity. It's free to download, still available, and works perfectly. But these days, with PicturesToExe 8, all of the sound editing we're likely to want to do is available within the program. We do need to have the deluxe version though. The Essentials version of PicturesToExe does allow us to make some audio editing changes to our sound files. If I double click one of these here, over on the right hand side, these are available within the Essentials version of PicturesToExe 8. But what we don't have is the ability to see this orange line, which we can adjust, as you can see here, to bring the sound volume down over strategic locations. We can record our audio commentary directly into PicturesToExe these days, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to apply those sounds to our slideshow and we're going to edit them too. I would like to take you to the settings before we start, because up here there's some options which you may not have on your version of PicturesToExe unless you've already visited the settings to turn them on. I'm going to suggest that you go to the settings option at the top of the screen and to the preferences and go to the toolbars and turn or tick every box that isn't ticked. There's plenty of space on the screen here, so there's no reason why we shouldn't have all of these, and as you can see there's one here that we could use if we want to, because it's where we can add or record a voice comment or our commentary. When we're reducing the volume of music, sound effects or commentary, sometimes we need those changes to be quite delicate. And from time to time you may find the width of the WAV file limits what you can do very accurately. You can make this WAV file much wider, and that will help a great deal. If you've got a mouse with a wheel attached, if you move your cursor over the edge and move the wheel, I understand from other users that that will drag out the width of the WAV file. I use a graphics tablet, a Wacom Bamboo, so I need to visit the settings and the preferences, and I need to go into my timeline. Now, just before we actually look at the track height and audio track height, which is what I brought you in here to see, we may as well say something quickly about the color of the audio clip and these two options here. You can see the color here reflects the color of my waveform down here, and if I were to select the waveform option here, you'll see that's the darker green of this part here. Well, via this little box here we can make a change to all of those, but it purely is just a preference, and we can reset them too. We can view the waveform either as mixed channels, which is what I have here, or an option which says compact view. Now I choose mixed, but it really doesn't make any difference. It really is just a personal choice, as is the sound volume. Either you view it as a percentage or decibels. I'm quite happy with a percentage. I'm used to that. We can adjust the slide track height, but it works exactly the same as the audio track height, so I'll show you that one, and it amounts to the same thing. There you can see, look, Control Shift plus mouse wheel in the timeline view will drag your WAV file to be much wider. But all I need to do is just to either make it bigger by using a slider, or I could just say give it to me twice the size as it usually is, click OK, and now you can see with a much wider sound comment there I've got a little more scope to reduce the volume and get it to just the level I think is perfect for the project I'm working on. We can return them to their standard setting anytime by just revisiting the preferences and overtyping the percentage value. Whenever we carry out any sound editing, like you see down here, there's a tendency for us to want to put the cursor just before the area we've adjusted, so we can press play and we can watch and listen. But we tend to watch the red line, which gives us a visual representation of where we are in relation to the audio editing we've done. Sometimes that can put us off just a little bit, and what I often do is when I press play I close my eyes, and that way I'm not fooled by watching the red line. I just let my brain and ears tell me if I've got the balance right with the change I've just made. The audio editing within PicturesToExe is now extremely convenient. It gives us the ability to make changes on the fly, and that's exactly what we need to do to make good audio-visual sequences.